For decades, we have been fascinated by the prospect of artificial intelligence. The Day the Earth Stood Still was made way back in 1951, and even back then, people were thinking about robots. Since then, AI has dominated science fiction classics like 2001: A Space Odyssey and Blade Runner, as well as modern TV favorites like HBO's Westworld and Netflix's Black Mirror. It has long been speculation. Will we create robots that lock us out of spaceships? Will we create life and become godlike figures in a simulation? But something is happening in our artificial intelligence daydreams. Our AI stories have taken on an urgency that could only be born out of the fact that artificial intelligence is our reality now, and its role in our lives will only continue to grow.
Right now, AI is very integrated in everybody's life. We've got Siri in our pocket, we've got Alexa on our countertops, we've got AIs that are functioning in our cars, to the point where they're driving our cars coming up. So it's everywhere already, and this is just narrow AI. This is AI at its infancy.
That's author James Rollins, whose novel Crucible explores the possible futures of artificial intelligence.
So I was talking to researchers that were well beyond that were at the cutting edge, that were looking to create the first what's called AGI, Artificial General Intelligence. This is the first AI that's going to be as intelligent as us and self-aware as us, and what might happen when we reach that point. And what they're discovering in their own research is that they are finding scary little moments. Like, for example, there's a term that I've kept hearing over and over again called the algorithmic black box. And that means basically that when these AI researchers at the cusp of this research are building these new machines, what they're discovering is they're putting data in, but the information that comes out the other end is surprising oftentimes, in how these AIs came to that conclusion oftentimes mystifies these AI researchers. They don't know exactly how it thinks to come to that conclusion. That's why they call it a black box, is that they don't know exactly how it came to that conclusion from digesting that data.
Rollins says the prevailing fears that have come to many researchers and developments as this algorithmic black box has begun appearing in advancing technologies are those old standbys from sci-fi thrillers of days past. What happens if we make robots that have minds of their own?
These AIs are surprising them. They're doing things that are unexpected, and that's, for lack of a better term, a bit worrisome, especially when we're talking about AI at this level. We get to that next level of AGI, or worse yet, ASI, which is artificial superintelligence, and we don't know really what they're doing, how they think, and they do surprising, unexpected things. That's a pathway potentially to disaster. Stephen Hawking was concerned enough about this before he passed away to say that, when this happens, it's going to be the worst event in the history of civilization. Elon Musk said, when this happens, it could lead to World War III. Vladimir Putin said, whoever controls this tech is likely going to control the world. So everybody's pursuing it. It's this big golden ring that everybody's chasing after. And they're doing sometimes with little regard to safety or safeguards.
But what is worst-case scenario, really? Just because we can dream up stories like Avengers: Age of Ultron, where a machine is created with the best of intentions that quickly go awry, doesn't mean that will necessarily happen in the real world, right? Rollins says that's true, but there's a reason this fear has endured so many years.
Now we're building AIs that can design other AIs. We already have AIs that are self-replicating. We're having AIs that are talking to each other in languages that are untranslatable, and when asked, can you translate that for us, these AIs have refused. So we're already seeing little indications that there might be problems. Right now, AI is so integrated into our lives that 70% of all buy-sell orders on Wall Street are not done by humans. These decisions are made by an AI that then does these buy and sell orders. That AI glitched for 1.7 seconds back a few years ago. During that 1.7 seconds, the Dow dropped 1,000 points. And here we're talking about a narrow AI in a field that at least is not that critical. But when we're talking about a military AI, if you're talking about an AI that's at the level of an ASI, and we have something that we can barely control, then we may be creating the final invention, the last invention we ever create, the creation that's going to destroy us.
But that is, of course, worst-case scenario. We can imagine a world in which things don't go wrong, can't we? One where we develop AI that functions more like the robots in the 2014 film Interstellar, where the AI simply does its job and helps humans accomplish highly complicated tasks. Rollins says this question of good versus bad AI is one he really explores in Crucible.
I'm always a bit of an optimist in some regard, and that's why in this book you're going to see Eve as she's developing. There's a point where her path diverges, and you're going to see sort of two versions of Eve near the end of the book. One that has evolved into interstellar, a being that could potentially be a great boon to humanity, and the other abused version of herself that potentially is going to be quite dangerous. So I'm always optimistic. I'm hoping that we are creative, got a lot of bright minds in that field, that when we get closer to that revelation that we'll be prepared, that we will recognize what we're walking into and hopefully find an avatar that's willing to work alongside us.
Rollins says that even in this best-case scenario, there are a lot of complicated ethics questions that go along with creating artificial intelligence.
Already Microsoft has been talking about trying to build morality clauses into their AI development. If we are the creators, we basically are godlike in the fact that we are instilling this intelligence into this artificial silicon construct. What responsibilities then do we have for that construct that we create? If it indeed is self-aware, it indeed has some sort of pyramid of need that we have, the need to survive.
They're all interesting questions, and ones we don't necessarily have a lot of time to answer. Siri, Alexa, and Google are sitting on our phones and smart devices, but some of those more advanced and autonomous technologies may not be far off either.
I ended up having 22 AI researchers that were willing to talk to me either on the phone or via email. And every one of them, I asked this question at the end: when's it going to happen? When are we going to see the first AGI step onto the world stage? And the average consensus was anywhere between 5 years and 15 years from now. So basically still in our lifetime, which is disconcerting enough. But two of them said, Jim, I think we're already there. They've got their ear to the third rail of AI research, and they're hearing rumblings down that track that indicate somebody's already done it.
James Rollins' novel Crucible is available now. For more about artificial intelligence, James Rollins, and all of our guests, visit our site at viewpointsonline.net. You can find archives of our programs there and on iTunes and Stitcher. Our show is written and produced by Evan Rook. Our executive producer is Reed Pence. Our studio production is done by Jason Dickey. I'm Marty Peterson.
Viewpoints returns in just a moment.
There may be no car racing enthusiast quite like comedian, author, and podcaster Adam Carolla. He holds the Guinness Book of Records for the most downloaded podcasts and loves racing in one of his classic cars. Every time he takes the wheel, he seizes the opportunity to live a more exhilarating life. Now, Castrol Edge's Live on the Edge campaign shines a light on Carolla's unique character in its latest film short, Rain Starts Play.
For most people, rain stops play. For me, rain starts play. It's an opportunity, just as everything can be. It's my unceasing pursuit of fun and adventure to make my life more exhilarating. That's been the key to my success and happiness. I believe that life is exhilarating in everyday moments. Seize the opportunities. Don't run away.
Visit Castrol USA on YouTube to see Rain Starts Play, the latest Live on the Edge film featuring Adam Carolla. Take a look at how Adam seizes exhilaration in all that he does. Rain Starts Play on Castrol USA YouTube. Live on the Edge.
Individuals and businesses with tax problems, listen carefully. Do you feel like you're losing control of your finances? If you owe over $10,000 in back taxes or have unfiled tax returns, we can help you take back control. The IRS is the largest and most aggressive collection agency in the world, and they can seize your bank accounts, garnish your paycheck, close your business, and file criminal charges. Take control of your tax problem now by calling the experts at U.S. Tax Shield and take advantage of the Fresh Start program and new laws clause that may allow us to negotiate a settlement for the lowest amount possible. Our team of tax attorneys and enrolled agents can stop collections and get you protected so you can take control of your financial future. U.S. Tax Shield offers a price protection guaranteed quote to get you protected today. U.S. Tax Shield is A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau, so call now. 800-568-1647. That's 800-568-1647. U.S. Tax Shield. 800-568-1647.
And that's Viewpoints for this week. Viewpoints is a production of MediaTrax Communications. You can follow us on Twitter and Facebook to learn about upcoming shows and find a library of past programs on iTunes. Plus, you'll always find podcasts of our segments and information about our guests at viewpointsonline.net. Join us again next week for your public affairs magazine, Viewpoints.